the word I've been assigned to for my further oral activity is brutality. The main idea of brutality is that it's a form of cruel power used often to oppress others physically. Not just that, it's also the mercilessness shown while being aggressive. The first text type, I've chosen to talk about political cartoon regarding this issue, and I divided it into 4 parts. The first part is speech, and speech in this comic is satirical and purposely written that way to outline the difference in views on both ends, and how one seems logical, which is the kid running for his life. The other seems hysterical, which is the cop feeling threatened to shoot the kid when he was escaping. Second part is talking about the drawing and 2 characters in the drawings as a whole, and I'm comparing them to each other, such as how the cop has um, more advantage and he has the upper hand in everything because he's bigger, he has a gun to shoot, he has a walkie-talkie to call enforcement, and he has more experience in chasing down criminals, while the other kid is just a kid and he's smaller in size and everything, which kind of gives you a better perspective because you can think of it that way, that the cop didn't have to shoot the kid, he could have just tackled him if the kid had done anything wrong. Third part talks about the lighting in the picture, and as you can see, the picture is divided into 2 parts, black part and a white part. And it seems as if the lighting is in the favor of the kid, because you can see all the light is accumulated near the kid, and shadow is accumulated by the cop, as you can see here again. This helps send the message of the drawing, which highlights the intentions of the characters. As you can see, the kid had white intentions, which means he had good intentions, didn't mean to do anything bad, while the cop had black intentions or bad intentions. Final part talks about the officer as a whole. It says the officer's portrayal is not fit, with many flaws. He's also covering his eyes with a hat. To some, this might indicate that the officer is not qualified for his job or is not doing it properly, hence not being fit. If the officer was being proper in his job, he wouldn't have been bigger in size or fatter, because a cop would usually be fit because he usually chases down criminals. He also wouldn't have been shooting the kid because a good cop would have experience and he would know that it's not right to shoot innocent children. He could have just arrested him normally. However, regarding the cap issue, it's obvious that the artist wants to show that the officer didn't see who he was shooting, hence the cap going down in his eyes. Instead, decided to just shoot out of maybe discrimination or hatred. My second text type relates to the first one because it's an article by Julia Jacobs from the New York Times. And the article talks about a cop who killed an innocent Mexican teenager named Jose Antonio in cold blood. It relates to brutality because the cop neither put him out of misery because Jose wasn't suffering, or defended himself because Jose was unarmed. He killed the teenager for simply throwing rocks around. Not only that, the cop emptied 2-gun magazine, which are bullet supplies on the gun, on the kid's body, because he apparently felt threatened, which then can go back to the painting here or the drawing here, because you can see the cop killed the kid because he felt threatened. Now, might some say that this painting and the story are related because they happen, like they were drawn, this picture was drawn at the close time of the event, but I don't think personally they relate to each other. I chose to talk about 2 quotes from this article. The first one says that after Mr. Schwartz emptied his weapon, he reloaded and fired more rounds, presumably at Jose Antonio, who was already lying face down on the ground, which means the cop shot the kid after he was already dead. And this quote starts off by showing evidence of what happened, and the purpose of it is to show the inhumanity of the cop and how he shot the kid even after he died. I emptied 2-gun magazines on the kid. It also evokes emotion to the reader because it shows how mercilessly people can get killed and no one would do anything about it. The other quote is kind of the opposite of the first one because it's a direct quote from a speech that the lawyer who was defending Antonio's family did. He said, regardless of the outcome on the remaining criminal charges, we will continue to press the civil rights suit to seek justice for the family. And it's significant because it shows that even though some people might go out their way to do villainous acts and kill people and hurt others, some people might go out their way to help people and push them forward, no matter what it takes. In conclusion, these 2 text types relate to each other because they both address brutality in their primal force, and both of them are very similar in terms of context, as I said before. This ties to the learning outcomes because they both show persuasive language as provided in the PowerPoint. This presentation also shows how media relates everything to modern pop culture as shown by the comic. Lastly, it's most evident that it answers all three stereotype-related questions because it shows how police officers get more brutal when it comes to other races. Not only that, but it sometimes creates stereotypes by showing the killings cops do on other races and not to the ones of the same kind. So you'd always see a cop killing a black guy or a cop killing a Mexican guy, but you never see a cop killing a white guy. And when it happens, um, news channels and magazines, they don't tend to cover these stories because they won't bring as much sales, because at the end everything we see nowadays is basically for the companies to get richer. They don't really care about um, what actually happened. They just need to get our attention by using stereotypes so they could get more money. And these are the works cited. This is the link for the article I'm talking about. I couldn't find the direct link for the original drawing. All the links I've had were either from Reddit or from other websites, but none of them tied to the original artist. Thank you.